What up YouTube, Jay Riz here. For those of you new to the channel, my name is Jay Rizzo. I am not the Recovery Warrior. My channel is the Recovery Warrior. It's based on lifestyle and recovery now, which me and my brother CJay here, I asked him to be on the show. We're both in recovery. And if you guys are just tuning in, I do ask people to be on my show. If you're in the Bismarck Mandan area for now, but I'm trying to expand, get the Zoom thing going and whatnot. So just hang in there. Just keep subscribing, tell your friends. We'll eventually blow the sucker worldwide, and we'll have a bigger format. Just make sure you tune in, subscribe, like, share. Hit me up on Recovery Warrior on Facebook, Jay Rizzo on Facebook. Friend me if you want. Without further ado, I got my brother CJay on, so go ahead, CJay, take it away.
What up? CJay B. I'm from Newtown, North Dakota. That's hometown. I kind of grew up all over. Got to experience quite a bit, but I'll start off with a little bit how I was. I grew up with alcoholic dad, a mother that became a drug addict, and my whole family, they were all alcoholics. So for me, all of that was normal. That was everybody's coping skill. Anytime anybody was mad or angry, they go drink or use or whatever, or happy, or celebrating their uncle's twice removed sister's birthday, and everybody drank, and my family owned a bar, and so that was normal. And I found drugs early on. Whenever I think I was like, I want to say like 6th grade, 7th grade. Pain pills. I got into pain pills, and I drank a lot. I mean, for the most part, it was a buildup. I like anything else. For a long time, I never thought I was an addict because I could function, I could do things, but it took a lot. It took a lot for me to finally accept I was alcoholic. I think I drank up until I was 21, and I kind of asked backwards. I drank up until I was 21, and I just remember there was a bad situation that happened, and I came to in jail, and I had kids, and I was just like, I can't drink no more. So I quit drinking, and like it became a very rare thing for me to drink. I leaned more into pain pills and stuff, because my justification at the time was like, well, at least I'm not gonna blank out and act out and whatever. I can manage, and then eventually I came into smoking pills, and then I remember the first time I seen it was my brother. He was like, hey, come in the bathroom one time. I was like, for what? Because we used to just like crush them up and like line it out on the table and like
snort them.
Right. And so like for him to be like, come to the bathroom, I was like, what's in the bathroom? Just come on, man. All right, I went to the bathroom, and his wife was sitting there on the toilet with tinfoil and stuff, and I was like, what the hell kind of crackhead shit are you guys doing in here? And no, just try it out, man. Don't knock it till you try it. And I was like, because I didn't give a shit. You put something in front of me and say we're gonna have a good time. All right, man. And so that was that, and that for me, like, I think it took like 8 times. He just kept inviting me over and be like,
Did you get high the first time you smoked a pill? No?
I didn't. And it wasn't until like the 8th time. And that's when I wanted to go look for it.
Oh, okay.
And I hit him up, and I was like, where can I get those? And he was like,
so why did you pursue it if you didn't get high? Was it just?
I guess I looked back on it, and like it was more like me trying to spend time with my brother.
Oh, okay.
Like
yeah, that makes sense.
Like I was trying to, because I'd call him and he'd be like, yeah, I'll be over, bro. I'll be over, and he would never show up. And because me and my brother and my sister, like, man, we've been through so much together. Like that bond that we have, it's something else, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. So that was that, and then I think like it was like 2000. 18, 19, fentanyl came around, and then that shit was something else. Only thing I could think of is like that shit's like a vampire that sticks on your neck the whole time and doesn't want to let you go. I don't know. Yeah, like because everything else because that whole time I was smoking those other ones, like I kept a career job. I was late all the time, but I kept my job. You know, did my parental duties and whatever. But then whenever that stuff came around, that's all my mind could do. You know, I imagine like for me like then it gave me a different perception of like okay, that's how some people are with alcohol, or some people are with meth or whatever, right? That just happened to be my thing to where I lost control of everything, you know? And yeah, like it took a couple years, and yeah, it was bad. I got into big trouble, and yeah, I'll never forget that's what was the thing, you know, like there was I'll never forget that, man, because I got in trouble for selling drugs and selling guns. And one of my favorite ones was I had a Mossberg 500. I had it like decked out. I had all these accessories on there. It looked like a fucking Terminator gun, you know. And but one day I was just like, I was sitting there, like miserable, hating life, and I thought there was no way out, cause I had seen my kids' mom's brother go to treatment probably like 3-4 times a year, over and over and over all these years, right? And like there was never no change. So in my mind, like treatment didn't help, right?
Yeah.
And so like I thought that was the only way out, and then it turned out because I had never shot that gun, but that guy I got it on Bizman, and he had a aftermarket pistol grip on there, and it had a hardware hank on there, so that bolt that he used was just a little bit too long, and that hammer couldn't cock back. Oh. So the attempt didn't happen. It was just an attempt.
Yeah.
But it opened my eyes, right? That's when things started for me to change. Like, okay, that's not the way out. Whatever, I must be here for a reason, right? Yeah. Something in my head was like, you're here for a reason, but what? And it took a long time. You know, I got into trouble, and when they picked me up at my house and they sat me in the back of that cop car, right whenever that door closed, I got to breathe. Yeah. I finally got to breathe, because that whole time I was holding my breath, running, hiding from the cops, you know, making sure I was moving smart and whatever, and now I didn't have to do any of that. I could finally relax. Like I felt my body at the time, like everything let go. And on the way the trip to the jail, I was like, something's got to change. Something's got to change, and I don't know what. And so I went to jail, and I went through it in jail, and it wasn't even like 2 weeks later, or in jail, I had a chance. I had a chance to use. I was actually sober, right? And there was a guy that came in. He had a lighter, a piece of tin, and 10 of those fentanyl pills. Wow. And I could have used, you know, but something in my head told me, like, if I just turn back, and then something in my brain's always going to tell me, oh, I can do this, and in a little bit of time. And because like for me, from the start, I no matter what, but I'm stubborn. So you know, like I get determined, and I was determined to stay sober. There was another time, because I had got moved in federal holding. They move you around all over, and so I got moved again. And there was a guy that snuck something in, an ounce of dope and a dirty brown condom, but like you can figure that out. And all the guys in there were, you know, out for days playing cards all night, because it was a dorm style jail. Yeah. And I was so close, man, but I just I kept feeling like, what if I just hold on? Like, what's one more day? right? And every day they were in there using, like, it looked fun to me, right?
Yeah.
But I was like, just one more day. So that's kind of where it all started, right? Because like I talked to my lawyer, and she was like, oh, you can get out for treatment right now, but if I were you, I would stay in there for a while and let your mind clear out.
Hmm.
And so at first I was like, I want to, but just let me sleep on it. And I slept on it. That next day she called me back, and I stayed in there. I was there for almost 6 months. And then I went to treatment. I went to Prairie Recovery Center in Raleigh, North Dakota, and man, that was that was a really great place, man.
How long were you there?
I got there February 24th, and I left on May 1st.
Wow.
That was 2021.
About 3 months.
Or no, 2020. Or wait.
22.
22. Yep. And yeah, because they told me, like, oh, well, we can hold you here for a little while, because it was supposed to just be 60 days.
Mm-hmm.
But if there was no sober living openings at the time, because while I was in treatment, right, they were like, oh, you should go to sober living.
Yeah.
Give you a little bit of a chance to have a better chance at recovery.
Them suckers got me like that. I went to Prairie and need to go to sober living, but my story is different.
I had no idea what sober living was, right?
Yeah, me neither.
Like even like the word, the phrase, right? The coping skills. I had no idea what the fuck it was until I went to a treatment. Like, what's a coping skill? I'm like, oh, there's grounding. There's all these different techniques and whatever, and so that blew my mind, right? And like while I was there, I made the most of it, man.
Yeah.
Cause like, for me, like if I always told myself if I were to go to treatment, I was gonna dig into all the programs there, whatever they had. I'm gonna soak it all up and make the most of it. And so I did that. For me, the biggest thing there was therapy. I got to work. I got to work through a lot of like the childhood stuff and whatever.
Yeah.
So that was great. And but then I got to sober living. Clueless, right? I didn't know what recovery was. Mm-hmm. I wasn't even really in recovery. I would say I didn't start recovery because like I was sober and that was it, right? Because I got to sober living May 1st, and it was weird living with a bunch of dudes. It was better than jail.
Yeah.
But like living with a bunch of dudes that you don't know,
right.
and there's all these different personalities.
Shit's ready to pop off any day, man.
That first day I got there, that's what happened, man. Yeah. That's what happened. Yeah, somebody was all lit up. They came in lit up and
had your back to the wall.
Yeah, I was just like, damn, man, what's really going on, And like, but eventually, the guys that didn't want it, they left.
Yeah.
And that's what I end up seeing was like it was like a revolving door. There's those guys that want it, and the guys that are doing it for whatever reasons to please their mom and dad or grandma, so they can keep getting whatever, or the courts or whatever, right? Because not everybody's fully invested. And for me, I didn't know what I wanted, but I knew I wanted to stay sober, right? So I kept going to meetings, and I thought that's what was going to save me. I kept showing up. I was probably going to like 4 or 5 meetings a day, because I was like doing day labor. Because in my mind I was like, okay, for once in my life, I'm going to do something for myself, because my whole life I've done for everybody else. So I'm going to be selfish. I'm just going to figure out what my bills are and then coordinate like day labor with that, just to get by, be able to eat and whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So I focused on my sobriety. And it wasn't until like I want to say like October 2022 I got depressed, and like nothing happened, right? And I was scared. I was scared, and I didn't know what to do. So I reached out to a hotline, and they connected me with some resources, and then I ended up being able to get a psychiatrist, but that took a month and a half. There was an appointment, so there was a date, right? So I was like, okay, I could just make it to that, right? but I was still feeling like crap. So I was like, what can I do? You know, because like I didn't even have no energy to get out of bed. And, like I wasn't even like showering. I wasn't really doing anything. Like I was going to meetings and I was just like not there. You know, and I didn't know what it was, and so I took care of my mental health. But I reached out to Big Man. I hit up Big Man and you know, some stuff ended up happening. I didn't meet him when I was supposed to. You know, I was.
Did you ask him to sponsor you?
Yeah, I asked him to sponsor me, and because me and Big Man go way back, and yeah, so I called him. I was like, hey, you know, I'm not able to make it, and I thought he was maybe thinking like, hey, maybe this guy must not really want it, you know?
Yeah.
And like I was like, damn, man, I was trying to get there too, and then I called him, and he's like, you know what, I got a number for a guy, and you give him a call. I was like, all right. So I hit this guy up. I had no idea, right? And we started working together, and shout out to my sponsor Justin M. Man, I owe a lot to that guy.
Good guy, huh?
Good guy.
I know that guy.
Good guy. And so we started walking through the steps, you know, and then the sober house that I was at, they kicked me out because he didn't believe in mental health issues. He said, I don't believe in depression, whatever, so I got kicked out of there. And because I wasn't getting the meetings in, you know, I was trying, man. You know, I didn't want to give up. So right away, I got a hold of Good Road, and then I got set up. Within like an hour of getting kicked out, I got Brunel, not Devin.
Dante Brunel.
Dante picked me up, and he brought me out here. Or no, he brought me to that IOP building.
Yeah.
And we did the things and filled stuff out, and then we got over here, and it was cool, man. And this place, it was cool. I got to really like dig into my steps. You know, I was given more of a chance to do that. And you know, because before I was doing my steps, there was not really much going on. Like I knew I was getting something filled in here, right? But it wasn't enough. Yeah. You know. Yeah. And because all I was trying to do that whole time was like trying to build a foundation, right? Because like every time I would go to a meeting, I would listen to the old timers, and I would listen to the people that had relapse stories, right? So whatever those guys did to relapse, I did not want to do. So I still listen to those relapse stories, and majority of the time, what it is they disconnect. They stop calling their sponsor. That's the number one thing you hear. I stopped talking to my sponsor. I stopped working my steps every day. I stopped, you know, going to meetings and all these things, and it's so easy to let these things go, you know, and yeah. So I made sure, like, once I plugged in, I didn't unplug, you know, and because like in the drug world, that's how it is, you know. Right. You find your you go and find the distributor, you know. You go find where it's cheap, and you stay connected to those people, and that's how, like, because my mind, that's how I think about a lot of this stuff, is how did I do things in addiction, and how can I flip that around to be in a good way, right?
In recovery,
right? In recovery,
cool. Yeah.
So yeah, man, like.
So get to the top and rob them suckers blind.
Right.
But with recovery.
Right. Right.
Start spreading the word.
Right. And you know, and so, like, yeah, that's what they say, right? There's all these little cheesy things that you hear, right? You know, I started chasing hope, not dope, you know, or all these things, right? But it's true though. Yeah, man. You know that it's true, and because I'm scared, man. I'm filled with fear of going back. I'm filled with fear because I had enough of it, man.
We're all scared.
You know, I had enough of that life, man. And for me to have all these blessings that I have, and they keep happening, man. If you just stick around another day, if you just hold on, no matter what you're feeling, right?
Isn't that amazing about recovery? You learn all these tools.
Yeah,
especially like fear. Like fear is the number one. You know, for me, like I'm scared of shit every day of things.
Right.
But thanks to this program, I'm able to conquer that fear, you know?
That, and be able to have, like, you know, I think another important thing is having that support system whenever you're having big fears like that,
Yeah.
right? To be able to reach out to people.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because you know, in addiction, it isolates you,
Yep.
right? It makes you push away your family, your loved ones, good friend, childhood friends. You know, unless your childhood friends are in it with you,
Yeah.
you know, you push everything to the wayside, man. Even your kids,
Yeah.
you know,
Everybody. But you and that drug.
Yeah, and that's it, man. With the drug or the bottle, whatever it is, it's all the same. It's all a drug is a drug is a drug, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, so for me, I keep thinking like, okay, I don't want to isolate in any type of way, you know. Even though I do enjoy solitude,
Yeah.
you know, but too much of it's
to
not
a
good.
point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Too much is not good for you at all.
Right. So I try to make myself be social, you know, but no, I think you know, building that foundation, figuring out what these things are for you to stay sober.
Yeah.
You know, and they always talk about it, how you build a house. You know, if you want your house to stand tall and stay upright forever, right?
Yeah.
You got to make sure the foundation's right.
Oh yeah.
Because if you don't build the foundation right, the sucker's gonna fall over.
Yep.
And
they say it time and time again in the big book.
Mm-hmm.
You got to build your foundation.
Right. And I for me that's so important. You know, there's all these. Everybody hears them, all these like cheesy things. There's the plaques on the wall. There's these sayings and whatever, right? And you know, after getting older, you realize like all those little cliche sayings, all those little cheesy things, they're true.
Right?
They're true.
I tell them my story all the time. Like,
they're super true.
One day at a time. Keep it simple.
Yeah, but it's true.
But it works.
It applies.
You know? It works if you work it. Like,
right. And it's true. That's one thing, you know, I always hear that, you know, we hear that at every meeting, you know, when they read the promises, it works if you work it, and it really does. And for me, I try my best to keep my program simple.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
I keep it simple. And because everything else in my life can be complicated, but that for me has to be simple.
Yeah.
You know, and because I don't want it to ever be stressful.
Right.
I don't ever want recovery to be overwhelming to me.
Isn't that the great thing of being like in sober living and being a sponsor? Like you see the new guys come in and they're like, oh man, I'm gonna be on step 4. Shit sucks, man. I hate this. Nah, just as me, it's like just keep it simple, bro.
Mm-hmm.
There's not much to it. There is, but it's all up to you. You know?
Right.
Like,
the way, you know, I wish there was not that stigma of step 4 of like, oh, you're gonna feel this way. You know, I wish people would stop saying, oh, you're gonna feel like crap. Like, how are you gonna tell somebody how they're gonna feel?
Right.
You know, we're all individual things. So for me, step 4, right, and step 5.
Yeah.
All my life up until that point, right?
Yeah.
I was walking around, like, if you could think about like those old cannonballs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Big steel cannonballs, and just think like you're holding on to all of these. You got these all stacked, right? And you're trying to keep them upright and not drop anything. Whether it's resentments, fear, childhood trauma, all these different balls, the cannonballs, right? There are all these different things in your life. You're trying to hold on to secrets and whatever, right? And you're trying to walk around in life, and it's so heavy, man.
Yeah.
And step 4, you get to put some of those down, right?
Exactly.
You get to write those down and go through. And then step 5, you get to tell somebody all this stuff that you've wanted to keep in, you know? And so you unload. And that's what recovery is, right? You get to unload all these different things, and then you get to walk around with your hands at your side and be free.
I'm going to put these balls over here.
Yeah.
Here, God.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's who you give them to, right? You give them now your higher power. I call them God, to be simple, right?
Yeah.
And that's who you give those to, right? And because they're not for you, they don't serve you in any way. All these things that hold you back, let go of this.
Yeah.
Because it's not doing anything for you.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Like I remember being in a book study and Uncle Jarrett was down there. Shout out to Uncle Jarrett. He said, if you don't put everything down on your step 4, I guarantee you will drink again. You will use again. And I didn't know what that meant at the time.
Right.
So when I was doing my, doing my inventory, I put everything down.
Right.
Shit I thought I was going to take to the grave. I put it down.
And you know what helped me with that was I heard one of the old timers, because when they read how it works at every meeting, right? It says if you be honest and thorough from the very start, right? And you don't have to be honest with everybody else, but fucking be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Be honest with yourself. That's what that's, you know, be honest with yourself, because if you're not honest with yourself, you're just going to end up tricking yourself.
Right.
You know, justifying certain things and whatever, right? And I think that's a really big important thing. Like I heard an old timer say, break that down for me. You know, be honest, because all those, you know, you're going to want to not write certain things down and not get rid of them, because that it's part of who you are.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
And it is scary.
Yeah.
You know, because like in addiction, we know what every day is going to be like, right? We know what every day is going to be like. It's a rinse and repeat over and over. You know, you wake up, you're sick, or you need a shot, or you know what I mean. You need
blast,
a bump. Yeah. All of that, right? And then once you get that, you need some money, and once you get the money, you go to the people, and over and over. But recovery is different. We have no idea what's going to happen in a couple hours.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
we have no idea, because we've fully accepted life, and life throws things at us just like that.
Yep.
And if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, you know, living a program, you're not going to be able to handle these things that gets thrown at you, you know? And like for me, you know, I can't say there's been nothing but great situations in my recovery journey. You know, there's been big bumps in the road, but I know if I just hold on, those are gonna smooth out. Yeah. And things are going to get better, right? That bump is gonna get flattened out, man. Oh yeah. It's gonna work out. Keep praying. You know, find your higher power, find God, whatever that looks like for you. Yeah. You know, and keep praying and keep faith. Because there's and you know, all of this stuff like manifestation, belief and faith in something, you know, that's super powerful. Prayer, all of that is super powerful, man. And you know, if having patience, that's the thing. Yep. Right? That's the biggest thing in recovery for me, is having patience, because in addiction it's like this, I want it right now, you know, and to have to wait for certain results, it sucks, man. Yeah. It sucks, but you know what? Having patience pays off. In recovery, having patience pays off. And you know, if you could just hold on, you know, take it one day at a time, because there's so many times I hear people that come in and they're like, oh, you know, I got this going on in like 3 months.
Got court coming up.
All that. Don't worry about it, man.
Exactly.
Don't worry about it. Let's focus on right now.
You sound like me.
And today, you know, and that's how it is, man. Like when we let go of all that future tripping or tripping about the past or whatever it is, right? We allow ourselves to be here.
I like that. Yeah.
You know. Yeah. And that's what recovery is all about, right? Is allowing good things to happen. Because there's so many times that we're able to self-sabotage, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm not going to go to that meeting today. Yeah. Or I'm not going to go to my home group. Or I'm not going to do this.
Justification.
Because I'm tired from work and this and that. Or, you know, whatever it is, right? I'm overwhelmed today. No, get to a meeting, man.
Get your ass in gear and go.
Get to a meeting, man. Whatever.
You feel so good afterwards, you know?
Hell
It's not even that bad.
You know, because like the very first time I walked in a meeting, I'll never forget that, man. Like, because there was like AA stuff at treatment, but it wasn't how it is everywhere else, right? Yeah. Whenever I walked in that building, because I went to Cap City, because it was the closest one, right? I Googled, AA meeting, and I was like, that's pretty close to the sober house that I'm at. And I went there and I never left, right? I go to these other places sometimes. It's kind of rare, but for me, that's home, you know? That's home for me. And, yeah, man, I walked up in that building and there's this old white man, and he was like, hey, how are you?
Who was it?
Welcome. Greg.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say, is that Greg?
Yeah.
Shout out to Greg.
Greg Shaw. You know, and you know, there's so many other guys there, and like these guys played a big part in my recovery too. You know, like because I listened to them.
Remember Jack?
Jack.
The old man Jack.
Jack.
Nobody told you today. I love you. He's gone.
There's
yeah.
Jack. Oh, jeez.
I know he's not gone, but
Oh.
I think he moved to like Washington. Something. I kind of moved away.
Mm.
Yeah, he was a cool guy to listen to too.
Yeah, like, you know, because for us that's part of our culture, right?
Yeah.
Is listening to elders.
Right.
You know, they got wisdom, man, and you know that for me, like going to those meetings. Well, that's what I was saying. Walking in that meeting for the first time, I got acceptance right away. You know, and for me, from growing up in all these different places, and you know, that wasn't really how we interacted with, you know, white people.
Right.
You know, and like so for him to give me love right away, it was odd, right? I didn't know him, you know, but it felt like he knew me.
Yeah.
You know, like he was my grandpa or something, you know.
Exactly, family.
Right, a family.
Open arms.
Right, and then I felt this other feeling like in here I was getting something filled, right?
Yeah.
My soul was getting filled. And I liked that feeling.
Yeah.
It was like the first time I snorted a pill, the first time I took a shot, because it was exciting to me, right? Yeah, I got lit up. I got to feel good feelings. You know, there was people in that very first meeting. I'm so glad it was a good one. You know, all these people said great things, and it made me want to go back.
Yeah.
You know, and but not every meeting's great. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Exactly.
You know, sometimes it gets bombed.
Just like
know?
life.
Yeah.
Life's just.
You know,
like that.
but you keep going.
Yeah.
Because you gotta have hope.
Yeah.
Hopefully the next one's better, right?
Yeah.
And you know, if you don't hear the hope, share it. You know,
Exactly.
right? You know, if you don't hear the hope, share it, man. And
just don't go to a meeting and vent.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear venting.
No, you know, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
But it's
a
all
certain
right.
point.
It's all right if they vent. You know, maybe that's all they have. They don't have the experience yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let them talk.
That, or you know, sometimes nobody's got nobody to talk to.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
no family or.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah.
But like after 55 minutes, I gotta cut you off.
Yeah, that's the that's the joys of recovery. You know?
Right.
All that practice of acceptance, man.
Right, and that's another thing, right? They talk about self-pity because a lot of times that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
And for me, what I've come to learn for myself, my self-pity goes away when I remember to be grateful.
Yeah.
You know, because I can think, you know, self-pity, all the things that haven't happened for me or did happen, whatever, right? But when I count my blessings, you know, because that's one of the things I do when I wake up in the morning. I grab my phone and I look at Facebook right away. I'm not gonna lie and say I'll wake up and I pray right away.
Is that the death scroll?
Yeah, I do that first, man. And then I'm like, oh shit, I gotta pray. So I'll put my phone down and be like, all right, thank you God, I'm waking me up today.
Yeah.
You know, guide me today, God.
Yeah.
You know, clear my heart, bless my hands, guide my feet.
Yeah.
And then I say the third step prayer.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of power in that prayer about guidance and taking, you know, our selfishness away from us and.
I give myself to thee.
Yeah.
Oh, take me.
Right. You know.
Guide me.
You know. I'll say this real quick. Is, you know, while I was here, I got to. I was here in this actual house actually.
Mm-hmm. Short bowl.
Yep, short bowl house. I got to do my, you know, we're a part of the same thing with Knights of the Round Table, and they do how they did the third step.
Yeah.
For me, that was powerful.
Yeah, it was.
It was powerful.
Oh.
You know, how we do it is, all right. There's a part in the book. I can't remember the pages. There's a part in the book you go through and you write, you know, you cross out the I or the we's and the us and all this and turn it to I's and me's, and you read all this stuff. I think it's like 3 pages.
Yeah, about 3 pages.
Yeah, about 3 pages. And you call somebody, you could call 10 guys, you might not know them all, but you call these guys and you read this, you know, the first 4 calls, I was just reading it to read it.
Yeah.
You know,
to get it done.
Just to get it done. You know, I was checking the box. You asked me to do it? Okay.
I think we all do that.
Yeah. But you know what? There was this, I feel like it was a spiritual experience. When I made that 5th one, I think it was Leafy. I think that's who it was. And I started reading it. And what happened was I finally put myself into that reading, because that reading is me.
Yeah.
I grabbed it and I said, this is me. I'm going to read this like I wrote a letter to you, and I'm reading this letter to me, about me, to you. And so I was reading it, and like, you know, boom, I can't remember where it was, but I just started crying.
Yeah.
And that was powerful for me, man. Like, I was like,
wow,
damn, I am this person.
Yep.
You know,
selfish,
self-centered.
Yeah.
And all my problems are my own making, you know. And I guess accepting that, right? Accepting that all my problems that I have are because of me. I can't be pitiful anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I can't blame anybody anymore. I caused all the bullshit in my life.
Yep.
Nobody did. You know, I might not have had a say whenever I was a kid, but in my adult life, it's all me, man.
Yeah.
It's all me. So, you know,
that's wonderful.
But my favorite part in that reading is, you know, I have a new employer. Being all powerful, he provides what I need. If I keep him close and I perform his work well, and his work is helping other people, right? Helping other people get sober, helping other people, you know, listen, being an ear to somebody, just listening to somebody's problems or whatever it is, right? And being of service. And so, like, for me, I took that serious. And you know what? There's never been a day where I was broke, where I didn't get to eat, where I didn't have gas in my car, where you know, all my needs are met. I might not have wants, but all my needs are met. You know, because there was times I lost jobs and I was in between things and whatever, right? And I'm provided for, man. Yeah. And it's a big blessing, man. Oh, yeah. And that, you know, it gives me hope, right? So all this time, I kept waiting and waiting to be able to have my kids. And now, you know, I got my kids with me now. You know, and we're going through that, and you know, my kids are young. Like today, before I came over here, I took them to that heritage center in Bismarck, and they got to see all the dinosaur fossils. And all. It was awesome, man. Just to see them smiling and having a great time with Dad. Yeah. That's what I do this shit for. Yeah. You know,
the promises are coming, huh?
Man,
the promises come true.
They do, man. And you know,
I like it too.
And it's just, it gives me hope, man. And even, you know, that hope remains whenever I have a bad day, right? Because not every day is perfect. Right. I'm not gonna be 100% every day. You know, there's days I still get thoughts of, like, you know, I get using dreams. You know, I get scared, man. And, or you know, I still have thoughts. You know, oh, it would just be good to do whatever. I can rebuild. And, you know, my addiction's still there, right? And but I know, because I've heard from old timers, that if you just stick around, the longer you stick around and you stay connected, that shit goes away. Oh yeah. You know. Awesome. And it becomes less and less. So for me, I want a good life, and I want my kids to have a good life. You know, I have to work this program, and I love it. Yeah. You know. You have to. And it's either that or I go dying.
Yep, you have to. Otherwise, it's game over, man.
Because I see it too much, man. You know, people I build bonds with in recovery, people I come to love, right? They slowly let things go, and they go back out. And unfortunately, some of them don't get to come back. Awesome, yeah. You know, and it's just, so for me, it's super important. Yeah. You know, I chose not to be Mr. AA, because, like, anytime I get interested in something, I go do all the studying, I read all the stuff, and I watch all the stuff, right? And I gotta know. But you know, this time, like, I kept hearing guys talk about, oh, I was trying to be Mr. AA, and it's just, it wasn't this and that. So I was like, all right, you know, I'll let somebody else do that. Yeah. But what I'll do is I'll know what I'm talking about, and I'll live it, and I'll share it.
There you go.
You know?
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else do you want to shout out anybody, or, you know?
Dang, there's too many people, man. You know, because, like, too many people come into my life and they give me something.
Yeah.
Right? It's not something physical,
Oh yeah.
but it's a piece of them that I get to take.
Yeah.
You know, because every interaction you get to have in recovery, I feel like they've been set in your path, whether you think it's a negative lesson or a good one, right?
Yeah.
But everybody, everybody's had a part to play in my sobriety, and I'm so grateful for the recovery community. I'm so grateful for all these different people starting all these different programs, and recovery starting to be a big thing.
Yeah.
And it's awesome,
It's
man.
a movement.
It's insane, man.
Yeah.
It's insane, like what's going on right now, and how many people are getting out here and getting help. And my thing for people that are new in recovery is just hold on, man. Just try to build a life that that you see that all the time. Try to build a life you don't have to escape from.
Yeah.
That's a real thing, man. Yeah. If you're just doing all the same stuff you did in addiction, but you're just doing it sober, you're bound to go back, man.
Yeah.
You gotta do things different. Be open.
Yeah.
Be willing. That's been a big word in my recovery journey, is be willingness. Be honest. But it's all love. It's all love. And if you fell off and whatever, don't let that shame and guilt keep you away. Because if you let that happen, man, you're bound to stay gone, and you might
not come back,
man. Because I have friends that went out and they're not coming back. And it's because of shame and guilt. Fuck that shame and guilt, man. If you got kids, think about them kids. If you got, learn to love yourself, man. Yeah. That's the biggest thing. And remember, there's always tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's fucking always tomorrow. It might not be the greatest day, but it's a different day.
Yeah.
And no, I'm grateful. Jay, I'll shout out Jay, because whenever I was going through that depression, Jay was he would drive me to town because I was carless. He'd drive me. We'd have talks because it's a nice little drive to town. And we talk, and so I hit you up one time, remember? And I was like, hey man, thank you for those times you talk with me. Like I appreciate that, man. Yeah. So I try to do that for people too.
Oh yeah.
So because it's important, because there's a lot of times where we feel alone, but we're not really actually alone.
Right. Exactly.
And you're a part of my recovery, and I'll always appreciate
That's
you.
Cool.
I always got love for you. Jay Riz is
too, bro.
Damn good, man, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, bro.
Yeah,
I get told that all the time. Like, thank you for your talks. Even guys in the house now, like, thank you for listening. All this. I'm like, I'm not doing nothing, bro. I'm just here. I'm me.
Right.
I'm not trying to go above and beyond, be somebody better than you. I'm just right along with you, just like you said.
Yeah.
Like along with this channel, people tell me you're doing a good thing, good medicine, good thing. What you're doing, I'm like, I'm not trying to get praise. I'm not trying to glow. I'm just doing what I love.
Yep.
I'm just passing this message and getting people on, and they're passing the message.
Right. And that's one thing that I'll say that too, is when we don't feel like we have purpose, we're bound to fall off too.
Right.
But what I've found is if you give helping people a chance. Because so many times I hear people, I don't know if I want to sponsor.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to do this, whatever. Do it, man. Yeah. I guarantee that's the most fulfilling thing you can do is help somebody. Yep. And it's, and you get to be selfish, but in a good way, right?
Yeah.
Because we're selfish beings. Us addicts, we're selfish people. But the most selfish thing you can do is help somebody else out. And it could be something small, like giving them a ride to a meeting or whatever, right? It could be anything. Just reach out and help somebody, man. Yeah. And for me, that I have found is my purpose, and I honestly believe that's all of us our purpose.
Yeah.
It's just up to us to decide that for ourselves.
Oh yeah.
Right. Because it's fulfilling, man. That my cup gets filled every time I get a call. A lot of times I'm woken up in the morning. Hey, can I get into sober living? Hey, here's this, we're full, whatever, da da da. But I get to start my day like that, or I get a message from somebody, hey, can I meet with you today or whatever, right? And it's cool, man.
Yeah.
You know what? And
Yeah.
I love it.
Hell yeah.
I love recovery, man. I love being able to help people, and it might not always be something big and great, you know, but just even picking up the phone or even giving a text back,
Yeah.
right? Whatever it is, help
yeah.
somebody, man.
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, for you guys tuning in for the first time, my name is Jay Rizzo. My channel is The Recovery Warrior. I'm not The Recovery Warrior, but we are all warriors in recovery.
Mm.
And you know, if you guys like what you see, hit that like. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe. Don't forget to tell your friends. Love you. Bye.